Raptors at home against the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-2 series. And they were lined up around the block and then some, just to stand in Jurassic Park and watch on the big screen. And they've been standing in the rain in anticipation of the tip-off of Game 6 as Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks try to stay alive and force a Game 7 back in Milwaukee. But for the Toronto Raptors, it is their playoff game number 100 in the history of the franchise. And with it, a win brings their first trip to the NBA Finals. Toronto with a rich history in the NBA. First NBA game ever played here in Toronto.
Look at that motion in that offense.
I would have killed those guys.
Yeah. Maple Leaf Gardens had the Knicks and the Huskies, with the Knicks beating the Huskies by 2.
Look at that movement.
Yeah, that game was actually played in black and white. It was so long ago. Welcome, everybody. TNT NBA Tip-Off is presented by Auto Trader. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley. It's not a Game 7, it's a Game 6, but it's the biggest game in franchise history here for the Toronto Raptors.
Well, it is, and before you even go into what it is, I do want to shout somebody out. I want to say Dwayne Casey, DeMar DeRozan, shout out to you guys, because you put this team in the position to get a Kawhi Leonard or to be here. So this is a maturation of all of the things that's happened. And, you know, they've broken through the ceiling. They broke through the ceiling that they've never broken through before to get one game close.
You're getting that look from the Chuckster. You
nice
know what
try,
I'm talking about.
Because he's 100% wrong.
Wrong to you don't mean it's wrong.
No, it's just wrong.
Because you've been wrong a whole lot this year.
I don't mind being wrong.
All right, then.
But
So
listen,
say your point.
shout out to Masai Ujiri. He knew that team that got that team. That's not a knock on DeMar or Coach Casey. They got swept the last 2 years in the playoffs. The difference is they rolled the dice. They went out and got a superstar. That's the difference between an all-star and a superstar. Hey, that's not a knock on DeMar. He's a heck of a player. Dwayne Casey is a heck of a coach. But the guy who runs this organization says, we're not good enough.
However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still a big task ahead.
True that.
They definitely got to win the game, because you said it, you know it, and I know it. If they don't win this game tonight and go back to Milwaukee, they're going to be in trouble. So the keys tonight is, you know, me and Charles were talking about this in the car, if you're Kawhi, because we both been in this position. Do we say, okay, we're going to see what the others got in the first quarter, or do we come out first quarter like, no, give me the ball, I'm going to go to work?
They're not like you, though.
No, Kawhi's like that.
Let's go back to Game 5 for a second, because fourth quarter of that game, late, you saw Giannis Antetokounmpo. You saw him defending Kawhi right there, and a little tweak of the ankle, and so that was, how much of a cause for concern would that be for the Milwaukee Bucks?
None. They don't care. We don't care.
Let's turn to Kristen Ledlow, who is standing by courtside. So, Kristen, what's the word from Mike Budenholzer on the Greek Freak?
Well, Ernie, right after the game, Giannis was asked about tweaking his ankle, and he said, I don't even remember the play where it happened. Just minutes ago, Coach Bud told me that between 45 seconds and a minute after he did so, Giannis said that he felt fine. He was evaluated yesterday, and again today, and again, fine, Ernie.
Okay, how about Kawhi Leonard on the other side and Kyle Lowry?
Well, starting with Kyle, he's just not getting any better. The pain has not yet subsided. He was scheduled to see a specialist yesterday, but he canceled it because he says that he knows it's not something that's going to be able to be treated or get better until the season is over. As far as Kawhi goes, Coach Nurse is encouraged. He said that he was laboring less in Game 5 than he was in Game 4. He's also been receiving treatment these last couple of days, and he feels ready to go.
You've just gotten out of these coaches' meetings with Nick Nurse and Coach Bud. What's your take on their approach to a game of this magnitude here, Game 6?
Coach Nurse says that his approach is going to come down to two things: taking care of the ball, limiting turnovers, and scoring, which of course seems obvious, but he said when we're scoring, when we're putting the ball through the basket, it limits the amount of time that Milwaukee spends in transition, which is where Giannis is best. As far as Coach Bud goes, he said that despite these 3 losses, his approach is not changing. He likes the offense, the shots that are being created by Giannis, despite the traffic that he's meeting in the paint. He just said that the other guys have got to start knocking the shots down.
Kristen Ledlow, thank you very much. Should be fun to watch Game 6 here in Toronto. When we talk about what Giannis has done, what Toronto has done defensively, What did you see in Game 5 that needs to change in Game 6 from Giannis?
Well, that bad offense they're running. They give him the ball at the top of the key and tell him to score against the zone. That's one of the worst offenses. There's no motion. There's no body movement. To give a guy, I don't care who it is, to give anybody the ball. Here, look at here, Ernie. Look at that. You can't, nobody's good enough to score now. Now that's different there. But to give him that ball at the top of the key and say score 105, that's just awful offense. That has nothing to do with Giannis or Toronto. One man can't score against the zone.
Chuck is 1,000% correct. If they're going to use him at the top of the key, Kenny, they should use him as a decoy. Drive, the defense kick, you kick it out the shooters. If you want him to score, you got to put some motion. You got to run him off the screen. I'm surprised Budenholzer hasn't made that adjustment yet.
You know, it's interesting because Shaq, it's worked so much.
It ain't working out. This is do or die time.
So if you watch the first, 7 plays, they try to do different things. And then all of a sudden, right around that 10th play, all of a sudden they go back to him being at the top. So I don't know if it's by habit or by not, but they do make a concerted effort in 5 possessions. And then after that, they go away from it because that 3-2 zone has given him all kinds of fits. He's been good, but he has not been the Greek freak.
The one weakness in Giannis' game is number one in a half-court set, because he never shoots anything mid-range, ever. I thought it was ironic when you came on showing him he was shooting mid-range shots.
From the post.
Yeah. But if I was him, I would post up a lot more, but that would force them to double him. That's how you make your teammates better. That's what great players do. Because when they slow the game down in the half court, they struggle. But he could help them out by posting up.
I know, Kenny, you are the undisputed king of the analogy when it comes to talking NBA basketball. But I talked to Nick Nurse today, and I said, look, I know some people have a car that has that eco button on there that you can push so you don't put your car through as much when you hit the eco button. I said, it looked to me like for 3 quarters, Kawhi pushed the eco button so that he could floor it in the 4th quarter, that he would have something left for the 4th quarter. He said you could say that. It certainly appeared that way to him because he had plenty left in the 4th quarter when he scored 15.
Yes, but when Shaq was alluding to this earlier, we were thinking about us being stars in a game where, we got to win this game. I wonder will that work here, because Milwaukee's going to come out with a sense of desperation. They know they're going to get punched in the mouth to start the 1st quarter. I think it's going to be interesting to watch Kawhi. If he's going to come out and punch him in the mouth himself or let the others do their thing. That's the one thing I'm going to be watching for in the 1st quarter and the 1st half.
Let's talk about the others real quick, because we do have a look at the way this series has played out, and there's always been another guy who shows up, and sometimes it's unexpectedly, to have big games. Brook Lopez, 29 points in Game 1. Ersan Ilyasova had 17 in Game 2.
Kenny has never heard me say, go ahead, I'm sorry, Ernie.
Norman Powell, and by the way, happy 26th birthday to Norman Powell today. Serge Ibaka had 17 in Game 4. Fred VanVleet, same week that his wife gave birth to their first son, their 2nd child, comes through with 7 3-pointers.
It is my belief, and Kenny was part of this, kind of helped me come up with this quote. Superstars take you to the championship, others win championships for you. Right, I have 4 because others, and guys that don't really have great seasons, but they have timely good games, like Brook Lopez having 29. If I was Kawhi, I would go, in a huddle and be like, Ernie, I'm coming to you early. Kenny, they're going to double, I'm coming to you early. Charles, I'm coming to you early. Give them the sense of hope, like, hey, I believe in you, help take me there. And then, after the 1st quarter, if they don't do it, give it to me and follow me.
It's funny you said that, because I was thinking my role and what I would have said. I would have gone to Dream and said, or I would have come out trying to be really aggressive, letting him know that I'm not in fear of the moment. It's like, he has some back. Yeah. Like, I'm not in fear of this moment. And if I might get 30 tonight if stuff happens. I might break an NBA record in threes if it happens. I'm not afraid of the moment. I'm going to be here for you. And I think as a player, this team, these guys have to play well to win.
Have to.
Yes,
with
have to.
y'all can take them all the way through.
But
if it was just you, then Rick Fox would have had to get 17.
Yes,
night.
but the one thing you got to worry about if you want those others, if they come out sticking up the joint and lose their confidence and you get behind, that's the one thing you have to worry about. Because
Then you got to take over.
yes, that's what I'm saying. But you have to. That's the thing about being a star. You have to fill the game out. You want them to get going, but if they come out and sticking up the joint, you're in trouble.
Remember the bench stats we've been giving you throughout this series, and through the first 3 games, Milwaukee was plus 52 off the bench. Raptors have completely turned that around in the last 2 games. They are plus 45. It's 83-38. In fact, the Raptors have more bench points in the last 2 than they had combined in the first 3. It is game 6. Will it be the finale? Or are we going back to that guy's house for game 7?